Hello, I'm Clarissa Medina from dreambookproject.com. I'm the official interviewer for Freedom Summit Global. We are getting to know the amazing international and local speakers for Freedom Summit Global. These speakers are gathering to show us how to live a life of total freedom where we are not shackled by time, money, or location. We are joined by a very special guest. The media calls him the Marathon Man. For 100 days, he ran a marathon each day, plus each day he gave an inspirational speech to audiences in the challenge. He broke the world record running through Death Valley, finishing in only 72 hours and 55 minutes. He travels the world as a professional speaker on life transformation and the psychology of success. He has spoken on TEDx NYC and TEDx Las Vegas. I introduce to you the amazing Croix Sather. Hey, Croix.
Great to be here.
Say hello to everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey. So, Croix, the summit is all about freedom. What does freedom mean to you personally?
Freedom's the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and however you want. And that's freedom. And that doesn't mean that you need to have a particular kind of lifestyle. It means having the lifestyle that you want and living the way you want to live. And so you may not want to run across America, and I don't expect anybody to do that. Or you may not want to be like some of our friends that travel the world all year round, every day of the year, and moving city to city all the time. That may not be your ideal life either. But whatever it is for you to create that kind of lifestyle, that's freedom. And then also to have the income to be able to do it and to be able to live the way you want to live.
So for you, freedom is very personal. It depends from person to person.
Of course, yeah, it's very, very personalized. And this is one of the secrets, not only in the context of what we're talking about, but in life in general, is to live the kind of life that you want and not be constrained by what other people do or by what other people think. And that's the biggest one of the biggest constraints most people have in their life, is that they don't live the life they want to live because they're afraid of what other people will think about them or say about them. And so they hold back and they don't go after the dreams that they have because they're afraid that they may offend somebody or what people will say about them. But when you learn how to overcome that, when you learn how to not be attached to what other people think or say, then you can start living a life of true freedom. So it's as much as a psychological, emotional, as it is a physical thing as well.
Yes. You have achieved this kind of freedom in your life?
In many, many ways, yes. And I'm working on the rest of them, of course, because life is a journey in progress. So many things that have already come, many things are way better than I could ever have imagined 10 years ago. Things that I never even thought of, I've already done, that they were far beyond my dreams I had at that time. And then some things, of course, I'm still working on becoming and more of a journey and going down spiritual journey and other things as well. So there's no set destination in life. There's no end goal. There's always something else to do or to experience or to be. And so I'm somewhere in the middle of that journey.
Yes. But you have achieved success. So what is your advice for people who want to become successful? What strategies can they apply?
I think one of the bigger strategies is certainly you have to be clear on what you want. And if you don't know what it is that you want, then your purpose is to figure out what that is. Because if you don't have a clear goal for what you're going to be doing next in life, then you don't know, you won't be able to get there. You won't be able to get anywhere. You'll just sort of go in circles. And so you have to be clear on your goals. So that's the first thing. And then if you're not clear, just keep trying new things until you find something that sings to you and something that brings you there. Like I had no idea I'd want to run across America. Had absolutely no idea. And then I heard, I was going through my journey and learning about all these other motivational speakers. And I was a speaker at that time, but I didn't have a name for myself yet. And then I had heard about this one phrase over and over. What would you do if you knew you would succeed? So in other words, if failure was impossible, what would you do? So I asked myself that question over and over and over, and I had heard about a guy who ran across America. It's like, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard of. I want to do it. But I wasn't a runner at that time. So I had to train and prepare and then get ready for my run. And so that's what I did. Once I got clear on my goals, so run across America, once I got clear on that goal, everything fell into place. So the first part is getting clear. The second part is to set a goal and take massive action.
All right. So the first one is to get clear on your goals, and the second one is to take massive action.
Take massive action and keep going forward until you succeed.
All right. What tips do you have for someone who does want to live the digital nomad lifestyle?
It's a couple of things. First, I think you should try it in small portions. If selling everything and going on the road full time you're not ready for that yet, then do what I did, and I did it in small pieces. First, it was very, very short trips, and then those trips got a little bit longer. Then they got a little bit longer. Then they got very, very long. And so now I live a hybrid nomadic life, where I spend some time in the New York City area and some time in other parts of the world. So I'm not digitally nomadic all year round, but I am for major portions of the year. And that works for me right now because of family and other things that are going on in my life that I go back and forth. But I get to live that life, and that's, for me, that's freedom right now. And that's the ideal life that I want right now. But a lot of people will, in their blogs and things like that, will say, go leave everything and just go travel the world. And yes, I agree. But if that's not possible initially, then do it in small steps, a week at a time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, take a month if you can, and then start going and see what you like and what you don't like. I know that when I travel a new city every couple of days, which I've done, I did that for 3 months at a time. It's very, very hard for me to get my work done. But if I go stay someplace for a couple weeks or so at a time, then I can see the city, learn all about it, get to learn more deeply about the city, and still get my work done. So then that works really well for me. And now what I do is I usually go someplace for a couple of months at a time, really get to know the city, and then pick a new city for the next trip.
I see. So your advice is to try it, to test the waters before diving into it.
If you can't dive into it, yes, then do it testing the water.
If it's not possible for you yet.
Yeah. And so what I ended up doing is I tested the waters. I put my stuff in. First, I had an apartment, regular place. And then eventually I got rid of the apartment, put my stuff in storage. Then eventually I sold all my stuff. And now I just rent out Airbnbs that are completely furnished.
I see. The next question is very close to my heart because I'm in the business of helping people achieve their dreams. So what advice do you have for someone to make his or her dreams come true?
I think that goes back to what we talked about before, is following your dreams because they're important to you, and not be held back from your dreams because of other people's opinions or what they say. And that also includes the negative chatter within your own mind. And so sometimes we'll get in our own way to achieve our dreams. And so then we won't take action because we'll think of things like, what if I fail, or what if I can't do it, and things like that. And, what if my family doesn't like me, or these other ridiculous conversations we have in our own head. And almost all of them, in fact, all of them are just manufactured fears. And so if you can step through the fear of what other people say, and you can step through your own fears, then it'll be very easy for you to live your dreams, because you'll find a way to make it happen. It always comes down about mindset. See, when I ran across America, that was an example of what the right mindset will do for you. I don't teach runners. My talks are not about running at all. They're about mindset. And the world record in the Run Across America is just simply about when you get your mind aligned the right way, what you can do. So what I teach is how to align your mind, recalibrate your mind so that you can achieve these amazing things. And that's often the first step, is to be able to follow your dreams and ignore what other people are saying or doubting, and ignoring your own personal doubts and taking action anyway. And then you'll achieve amazing things. And you'll find out later down the road that your fears were completely silly, unfounded, ridiculous, and had no foundation whatsoever. But in the moment, they feel real, but they're not actually real, and you need to step through that.
All right. That's an important perspective. Na it's not just ignoring or overcoming the negative chatter around you, but also within yourself. And then you have to recalibrate your own brain to do that.
It's like the tip of an iceberg. I mean, the ice, you see just that little bit on the top. It's a really simple concept, but that concept goes very, very deep. And this is one of the deepest subconscious challenges we have as people, is this. It all comes down to our own self-worth. See, if we were very confident in who we are, we wouldn't really care, or at least I can't say that. We do care what other people think, but that would not control us. That wouldn't be a significant factor in us doing what we want to do. And so this all goes down to your subconscious mind and where that comes from. And that comes through your life's experiences from childhood up until now, and the things that we have that allow us to either believe in ourselves or not believe in ourselves. And those who believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, they're the ones who go out and achieve them. It always comes down to mindset. Everything is about mindset.
Yeah, I believe that also, how important mindset is. Now, Croix, could you tell us about your favorite travel story?
Oh, there are so many. I think I'll tell you the story about in Colombia. Last year, when I moved to Colombia, I was there for 4 months out of last year, 4 months straight. And so I moved in January and I stayed there through April. And when I first got there, I knew nobody there except Ricky, actually, who's running the summit. He's the reason I went to Colombia, because I had heard about Medellin, Colombia, which lots of people say it's very, very dangerous. Other people say you go there for other reasons, which I'm not interested in. But then Ricky, being a family guy, he said this was the most beautiful city in all of South America. You need to go. And so that's why I went. It was because of Ricky's recommendation. And then he told me reasons why Medellin is so beautiful and why I need to go. So I went down there to try it for 6 weeks, fell in love immediately, knew I needed to stay there. And Ricky introduced me to a guy named Mauricio. And Mauricio, as we were met for coffee and we were talking, then Mauricio speaks English and Spanish. My Spanish then was very limited. Now it's very good. But we were speaking, and he says, we're going up to this town far, far north of the city. And he's telling me all about this thing where they bring clothes and food and toys because the people up there are very, very poor. And so as we're talking about it, he's telling me about it, and I was like, how can I go? And we had just met each other. We didn't know each other at all, except for Ricky saying, hey, you guys should meet. And so then I asked him to go, and he's like, okay, why don't you go? And so a week later, I'm traveling into this far town, very, very small village, very far north of the city, with people I don't know in a country I don't know that has this reputation for being so incredibly dangerous, which it isn't, but I thought it was at the time. And so I'm going through this what you call guerrilla country, guerrilla area of the country, where there's these rebel armed forces are in that part of the country. And so I don't know what to expect, but we make it to this little town called Urdaneta. And I was the first white person, the first non-Colombian to visit this village. And so they have very, very, very limited things there. In fact, there isn't a town. It's so small. It's just a bunch of people living on a mountain. And they all met together, and it was 300 people, and children and adults. And it was absolutely extraordinary to meet the people. Even though my Spanish was so limited, I still got to connect with them and be in a culture that is almost hidden from the rest of the world. It was absolutely spectacular, and I have so many photos from it because I do photo as a hobby as well.
Wow. One thing led to another, and it was all spontaneous. And wow, that was a fun experience.
And now we joke about it, that how, you know, they didn't know who I was, I didn't know who they were, and I was risking my life to go with them, which I wasn't really risking my life. It just seems that way in the
Like
moment.
that. Yeah. Ah. All right. Croix, what is your vision for the future?
For me,
Vision, yes. What do
to
you
keep
see?
doing what I'm doing, but at a bigger level and more globally, which is one of the reasons why I'm coming out to the 5 summits, because I haven't spoken in Asia yet. And so this is a great opportunity for me. And I speak around North America, North and South America, actually, mostly in North America. And I've seen all of this country, or all of this continent, and now it's time to start moving into other places. I've written many books, and I've spoken all over this portion of the world, and now I just want to do that at a bigger level and teach people how to achieve their dreams, and teach people how to overcome what's limiting them and holding them back, and then how to succeed. Because that's what I'm known for. I mean, if you can imagine a guy who was not a runner and then ran across America with only 1 year of training, you know, I probably know a few mental strategies that nobody else in the world knows. There are a lot of great people out there that are teaching a lot of great strategies, but none of them have done what I've done, and also teach how to use the mind. So that's where I'm unique. So when people come to the Freedom Summit and you hear me speak, they're going to hear about some of these strategies that are, while commonly known in terms of a phrase like you should have more discipline. Well, there's a strategy, more discipline. So the people who have more self-discipline are the ones who succeed more. Now, everybody kind of knows this, but why aren't more people succeeding? Because they don't know how to use that. They don't know how to become the more disciplined person. And so those are the kinds of things I teach. The strategies that everybody knows by phrase, but not too many people know how to actually do and succeed. So my goal my vision for the future is to keep going out there, write more books, speak in more places, and run more of weekend events like I do now. So I invite people to come to spend a weekend with me and to recalibrate their mind for success so they can have the life that they want to have.
Yes. We'll invite them to the Freedom Summit. Where can people find you online, Croix?
To look at the link of this, my name is spelled unusually. So to look at the link and then to go to croixsather.com is a great place, and find me on social media. I use Facebook mostly. I'm on all of the social medias, but Facebook is the place where I'm at most.
All right, so let's invite them to the Freedom Summit Global to achieve time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom.
So wherever you live, you can come see me speak, and many other great speakers as well. And then while the Freedom Summit is about creating a life of freedom, I'm also going to teach you how to create the freedom from your limitations. And so for me, that's what freedom is. If you're free from your own limitations, then you'll be free to create anything you want. So if you want to be free of time, location, money, all of those things, they all come when you get freedom from your own limitations. So come see me and the rest of the speakers at the Freedom Summit.
All right. On a final note, we'd like to invite everyone also to like Freedom Summit Global and Freedom Summit Asia on Facebook. Thank you, Croix.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And see everybody at the summit.
See you.